And we're on again. What's up, Bobo?
You know, how come our producer doesn't seem to make Junji doesn't seem to make this show any better as we go week to week to week to
He's
week?
a plant.
I think we could get money from the government for daycare. I really do.
But how would we prove to them that he exists when
I'd
he
put him on
refuses
video.
to be
I
on
just
camera?
reverse that camera, put him on video, and oh yeah. I mean, the Donald, when he sees that, is hey, give this boy some money.
I think he was sent here by a competitor.
Probably
And there's
sent
a lot
by
of 'em.
Domino and Cellini.
He went to him for an internship and said, guys, here's what I could do. And they said, you know what? We don't need your help here, but we know a couple guys that do need your help. And then here you are. I'm just kidding, Jim G. You do a great job. So if you saw the show earlier, we were on briefly, I think, maybe.
Mm-hmm. We don't know.
We don't know. But we're back now. So it's good to see it. Weather's beautiful. We got the windows open here at Beau Bock Enterprises. We have our sales staff went out for a lunch. They're on their way back. Can't wait to introduce you to one of them.
Mm-hmm. The only difference between this and doing the show from Arthur's place is that's a foundation. Okay,
Right.
we're an enterprise.
Did Warwick Dunn build the blank foundation?
He did.
bathroom.
He helped mix the mortar.
He was part of it.
Yeah, of course. How do you think he got in the rafters?
We raised the flag today.
That's good.
We
tile
traded
work.
Sanu, so that was good. You got to trade these guys.
That's so stupid.
What's so stupid?
The whole thing.
But now we're in this situation. You have to trade people like this.
Yeah, but now, I'm just. Who the heck was saying it?
Oh God.
Michael Cunningham. Falcons salary cap too tight for moves. F the moves. That's not the problem. The problem is the entire organization. The problem is ownership. The problem is the CEO and president. That's the problem. We've got players. So don't tell us that our salary cap is tight as far as making. Well, why cover up for them? What is that all about?
I don't think he's covering up for him. It's just kind of putting the cherry on top of it, saying that in spite of where we are as an organization, we can't even do anything to fix it because we're so top heavy with our top players.
Hans, you missed what I just said.
I understood what you said, but I'm telling you what Mike's saying.
There's nothing we can fix with players. There's nothing can be done. We'll be in the same mess 6 months from now with with an entirely different roster. Would be exactly the same next season.
These guys are all going to be gone. They're all going to be gone. So just put that in your pipe. But that's not going to matter because
I hate being out of contention because of old age. That would.
Are you speaking about yourself or are you speaking about the Falcons?
I'm thinking about the Falcons. Me, I could go in there and win a starting job somewhere.
Right.
All right.
Beau Bock and Jerry Glanville are announced as your next head coach, defensive coordinator, leader of men, whatever you want to be, life coaches to the Atlanta Falcons. They run the table and win the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Just like that.
That's not so far-fetched.
It's not?
No.
All right, men!
Let me tell you about the Gipper.
Right.
You may not know.
And you could bring Elvis in, too.
That's right. And too legit to quit.
Oh, Hammer would be all over that. You telling me if Jerry made a call to Hammer, right?
Hammer would be here in 8 minutes.
In time, and said they were getting the band back together. You telling me Ryzen wouldn't steal a car and head over?
Oh.
Boom!
Oh, with Left Eye?
Left eye.
They'd all be
Rest
here.
in peace.
They'd all be here. You see that little square cul-de-sac I got out there?
Right.
That's where they'd come in. It's a landing pad.
So, true story. This is funny. Guy went to high school with Mike Rasper. He used to live next door to Jesse Tuggle. Actually lived on his street too, but next door to Lisa Left Eye Lopez and Andre Rison, the house that was, of course, famously burned down.
Was he able to get fire insurance?
Now, get this. So they're over at somebody's house, right, having a good time, burn a doobie. Mike says to the kid, he says, hey, I need you to take me to my house. And this kid has no idea who Mike is. Right. Mike's one of the funniest guys you've ever met in your life. So he's directing this kid, and he directs him right into Andre Rison's house, and he gets out of the car and goes, where's Mom and Dad? Why nobody told me? Like it's his house, and this kid's freaking out thinking that his house is burned down. He's like, I'm just kidding. I live next door. That's my story.
That's great.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's great.
That's cute. I figured I'd bring a little
Levity.
story, something.
Yeah, a little sense. He's a storyteller.
It can't be all doom and gloom. All the time,
Yeah.
right? It can't be.
Gosh.
So Matt hurts his ankle, so he's probably not going to go on Sunday. So all you guys that hate Matt Ryan, you get to see what we look like without him on Sunday. Is Matt Schaub? They're going to dust him off and see what he's got.
Schaub looked good the other. Schaub's a great quarterback.
Yeah, 25 years ago.
He's a smart guy. He's got a good arm. He knows where to go with the ball. Problem is he can't sustain it. That's the reason he's not a starting quarterback somewhere is he doesn't have the ability to. He doesn't have any leadership ability. First of all, as a quarterback, and secondarily, he just gets in these moods where he doesn't perform.
I wonder how much money he's made in his career. I bet he's made a lot of money.
He's made
35, 40 million, you'd say?
Yeah.
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
Not a bad deal.
Yeah.
So the rest of the season's done. I mean, how many wins do you think we end up with? We'll probably end up winning at the end just to screw us in the draft, and we'll end up drafting around 10 or 11 or 12 like we always do. We've been doing this for 30, 40 years.
Yeah. We got it down.
Why can't you just lose? You know how you do that? You keep Quinn the whole season. Let him just coach all the way through. These guys won't win another game.
Well, I'm quite certain that's what Arthur's going to do.
You think?
He does. This is all a dirty affair to Arthur. Secondarily, you got Rich McKay in between, the president and CEO, and Rich, signed off on this guy. All it tells us is Rich can't pick a player from a hole in the wall,
Right.
or a coach.
Now, how do you know he has anything to do with personnel like that? I mean, does he?
Who personnel? You mean
Coaching and stuff.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure Arthur
Hey.
asks him what he thinks about.
president and CEO? Don't forget when he signed Dan's contract. Dan got everything. Dan got more than what veteran coaches get. Dan, he could sign off on the final 53-man roster. Dan is the chief football guy up there below Rich McKay. Rich McKay is the president and CEO, so he has to sign off on.
Is Schlenk
Quinn.
the president?
That's
I know
basketball.
that, but is he the president as well, or is he just
He's
the
got
general
a
manager?
time. No, I think he's vice president and GM.
Okay, so it is a little bit different because I know obviously Sherholtz in baseball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, president, CEO,
Right.
whatever, and then we get the same
And
thing with Rich McKay.
he's moved beyond that now too. So I don't know.
Oh, he's moved beyond that.
I don't
He's
know.
just kind of like
I don't
in
know.
another realm.
Yeah, I don't know what his title is.
Right. How old is Sherholtz? 75?
It's at least 75.
75? I can see that. But anyway, man, it sucks. I'm excited.
But a small 75.
A what 75?
A small 75.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a young 75. He's a small 75.
Right. He seems like he's shrinking. I saw him not too long ago. It was a very small white polo tucked in.
Well, is beyond his cerebellum,
Mm-hmm.
frontal lobe.
Yes.
It's very shrunken. Very shrunken.
Man, I saw a mock
But
draft.
he'll take all the credit.
I saw a
he'll
mock draft
take it all.
for the Falcons picking at 4, I think it was, and they were taking a defensive back from Ohio State. This kid's supposed to be one of the best DBs to come out in the last 10 years, 6'1", 200 pounds.
Right.
Think about that. Think about if we had a freaking game changer back there. I have never liked Trufant. I've never liked him. He is soft as all get out. I don't like him. I think he's an average cover.
To tell you the truth, I liked Alford better than Trufant.
Alford just couldn't keep his hands to himself.
And
That was his problem. But you haven't heard anything about him this year in Arizona. I wonder if he's having a decent year.
Know.
Numbers wise, he didn't do anything too stupid against us.
No.
In the game against Arizona, unless he's hurt. But yeah, man, I just get the idea. If you had a shutdown corner on one side of the field and built off of that with your linebacker in the middle and Grady in the middle, that's 3 pieces.
It's
You
the
could
toughest
work.
thing to find. It's the toughest position on the field to fill.
Right. And it's such a
Well, you know what? It couldn't be tougher than quarterback. But what it is you have a much smaller group to choose from. It's a very difficult position to
well. The
scout.
thing I liked about this guy was his size. 6'1", 200.
like
I
a
mean,
Richard
that's
Sherman type of size.
yeah.
But the other thing you're talking about is like Richard Sherman size and shutdown ability like Deion Sanders. We're never going to have another Deion Sanders.
No.
But, 25 years, he'll show up like
I tell you what, that
Zion
guy
Williamson.
That guy last night, Stephon Gilmore with New England. He's pretty freaking good.
he is.
He's really good. How about them? How about that defense? I mean, it's unbelievable what they're doing. They've only allowed 42 points this year in 7 games. It's 6 points a game. I'll be here all day if you need some help with your math homework. Alfred broke his leg. That's from our buddy Andy Hill. So he's out. That's why he's not getting flags.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank
Yo,
you,
Andy. Hey, go, Andy. Go to Walmart. Mention our name. Pick out whatever
Our
you
friend
want.
Brian Hunt says just what I just said. How many games do you think the Falcons will win? I mean, who knows? They'll probably, towards the end start winning some games because I don't see them laying down for divisional games. You know what I mean? Like, that's in their nature to want to compete in those.
So, it is also for the opposition. So everyone won the division.
Want to kick us while we're down?
But, don't forget, the first year Dan was here, what did we go, 3-0, and then lost the next 6, or we went 1-0, lost. It's just same as it is right now.
Right.
And then won, the final 6 games of the year.
Always.
That
It costs us, 6 or 7 spots.
right.
And who knows if this guard, when he comes back at right guard Lindstrom, if he's going to make a big difference. So, maybe he comes back and he's a difference maker.
Well,
Could be.
it's tough, for a rookie to come in.
Shit, the guy for Indy last year was first team All-Pro as a rookie.
Yeah, but this is midstream. You're asking a guy to move into an offensive line that's been working for 8 weeks.
Oh, with this bunch? They need somebody to get in there. By the way, Alex Mack might be done. So now you're talking about another piece on the line that you got to go get. He is. I mean, he's I don't know if he's hurt or what, but I mean, he's supposed to keep all that together. I mean, he's been in the league, 11, 12 years?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, his feelings are hurt.
Why? Because they traded Sanu? That was his boy?
That was, they went to lunch together. His feelings are hurt because, he thought he was coming to a contender.
Well, he got to play in a Super Bowl, got played in a broken leg. I love Alex Mack, but I think that in the next year or two, you're going to have to address that position. You're not done with this offensive line. I think your left tackle is underwhelming.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Since the beginning.
Since the beginning. Could you ever move him to right tackle and go and draft a left tackle?
Sure. You would have to, or else he's out of the league.
Move some pieces.
But I think the guy we've got on the right side now is going to be pretty good.
And we'll see. He's getting beat up pretty good the other day.
Well,
Anyway,
he's a rookie too. He's a rookie.
boy, you got a Beau Bock book of excuses over there?
Excuses.
There's quite a few of them.
Excuses. I'm the only guy who hasn't made excuses for this team.
That's because you're a homer. Don't you go.
Don't you ever.
Don't you ever. Guess what I got in the mail yesterday? Atlanta Hawks season tickets. I'm pumped. I'm going Saturday night against the Magic. We open up Thursday on the road in Detroit. They just cut our old friend Joe Johnson. I was a little surprised by that. But,
No kidding.
Yeah, 3-point dogs opening up in Motown. Love to get that first one.
Somebody will pick up Joe in a hurry.
I would think so.
Yeah, because he scores.
Hey, did you see him in the Big Three with Ice Cube and those guys? I mean, he was something else. Scalabrini, those guys are legit.
Yeah, more moves than a bag of worms.
Let me tell you, they sell tickets to those things, and they've got a TV deal. The Big Three. I mean, they've got a little thing going on there. Even though it's a crap product, it's got big names. Well, some of those guys go back to the league.
Yeah, glad to see that. Glad to see.
You know who else hasn't been picked up that I would love to have on our bench, but he wouldn't come here because he doesn't want to play backup? Is Jamal Crawford.
Oh, I love him.
Would you love to have Jamal Crawford?
Forever. When he's 43 years old.
Him and Vince out there.
I'll trade for him at 40. Oh, Vince.
What is wrong? Why do you hate Vince?
Because Vince has always been so inflated. Vince has never lived up to the hype.
He's
never.
43 years old. Give
never.
him a break.
I don't care if he's 23. And by the
Jerry
way,
Farber's
when he was
upset
23, his team was in the playoffs, and he took off a game because he wanted to go to graduation.
Oh, that's what this is all about. I knew there was a reason. 25 years later, you're still busting his chops over this crap.
You can't do that.
Unbelievable. The guy wanted to...
Listen, the guy has been all world in everybody's mind except in the scorebook.
Well, academics, he was pretty good too, apparently.
Evidently. He was
very important.
He graduated summa cum sooner or later. All right, and that's exactly that's why he's still in the league at 43. We're waiting.
Right. Oh man. So anyway, that's going to be fun to watch this year. At 43 years old, going up against these
shut
guys.
up.
It's going to be fun to
That's
watch.
so stupid.
Why is that so stupid?
You put guys like that on teams that aren't doing anything. I can't wait to see us this year. Because
By the way, Herder practiced today. They say he's going to play Thursday.
Cool. Because in the preseason, we haven't seen any semblance of what our starting rotation is going to be. It's going to be fun to watch these guys. It's going to be fun to watch them in the opener. It's going to be fun to watch them in about 4 weeks, and they're going to make incremental improvements.
Did you see what Trae Young said about next year? Not this year, but next year. I thought it was very interesting because he never says anything. They asked him about this draft class and how they were coming together and everything, and then in closure, he said, "Next year we're going to be really good. Like we're going to be really good." And think about 2-3 years from now, you got all these guys locked up.
Well, that's what I keep saying.
Right.
And we will. We could be.
Of course.
What's going to be really interesting is watching us run the floor. I mean, we should be able to run some teams out of the gym.
You would think so. You just, the turnovers.
There you go again. That's why I don't think that Trae is going to lead us to
His
the
last game he
land.
played, he had 28 points, 10 assists, and no turnovers. What are you talking about? Not a single turnover.
No?
Nothing. Zero.
Yeah, I missed that game.
Yeah, you must have.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
It's the one we won, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he comes down, he's very cavalier with the ball, bouncing it off his buttocks and stuff.
It's not his fault these dudes aren't ready. They're not ready. They got to learn to play with the OG. They got to learn. They're not ready. You should have seen these guys playing with him at Oklahoma. I mean, he was hitting guys in the chest. They had no clue what the hell to do. He was so far ahead of them.
Right.
But I think
why? Originally, that's why I didn't like him. I didn't see him at Oklahoma except for about a total of the course of his senior year of his year, maybe 10 minutes.
So what happened? His evolution at Oklahoma. He came on the scene. He was scoring 35, 40 points in the first 10 games when they were in their non-conference, right? Just killing everybody. Was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, all that stuff. Then somebody in Big 12 play, I don't remember who it was, they trapped him. 3/4 court. They started trapping him, double teaming him.
Right.
And he would pass. And they would say somebody else is going to have to beat us. They couldn't find a single person that could score. They were just getting blown out of the gym. So the second half of that season, he would come across half court and just throw it up with two people on it. That was their best chance at scoring a basket.
Right.
And so his numbers went down, his percentages went down. It was ugly.
I'm just talking about seeing him. I mean, it never jumped out at me.
Oh.
And see, now what jumps out at me is that he can't go the distance because he's too cavalier with the rock.
I don't think so. I think he's.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm not asking you for.
You've been against the guy since day one, and I keep disappointing and saying, "Look, I told you, I saw
10 minutes of him in college. All right, so that's why. What do you think? I don't trust
watched
myself?
82 games
How many
last
guys
year.
tell you what's going to happen 6 months, a year from now? How many guys? Who told you? Who told you about every life? Who told you about life? For God's sakes, man.
Boy, you are
Jeez,
quite full of yourself,
my
sir.
goodness.
You are something else.
I mean, you wear me
That's
out.
for Andy Jordan,
You-
our buddy.
you
By
wear
the
me-
way, Andy
Did
sent a
Andy have
message
question? What's he
right
got?
now. Yep, he just got out. By the way, I hope you're
jail?
enjoying. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying life on the outside.
good.
It says, "Do you like Arthur Blank or Vince Dooley better? Please explain." This is from Andy Jordan.
Well, I like them both a lot. However, I don't like Arthur as an owner, nor Vince as a coach.
Right.
Now, as a horticulturist, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Give me one of those Dooley tulips.
Are they still doing that in the paper?
Still doing
You're
it.
kidding me.
No, still doing
Is it sponsored by Kroger?
it. I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know.
He's got to be almost 90, right? He has to be.
No.
86?
I think 85 probably.
85,
Yeah.
86?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious,
Yeah.
man. Well, Georgia, that first half, people were freaking out. 0-0 in the rain in Athens. And that second half, man, say what you want to say. I didn't see much of the first half. I watched the whole second half. Their defense I mean, their defense has got playmakers on it, but their offensive line just decided they were going to win the game. And that was finally what we had been waiting to see all year long. That was the best half of football they'd played, including Notre Dame, all season long. They got to come with that consistently.
Well, it's good. Now they have a bye week to work on that, solidify that, and lock it in, and then go down to Jacksonville. I think we're going to kick the Gators' hankies.
Do you?
I do.
I like that quarterback they got, though. I do like him.
You know what? I would bet dollars to donuts we'd beat them if they had their original quarterback.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
terrible.
Awful. Inspired no confidence.
Ah.
Yeah. What's his name? Franks?
Frank something.
Yeah. Anyway, he's gone. The new guy, though, I mean, they're clicking on all cylinders. That was a tough loss for them a couple weeks ago down in Baton Rouge. By the way, LSU again this week against Auburn. You want to talk about being battle tested, and now with Tua getting hurt, LSU might be the favorite over there. Now, if you're Georgia, who would you rather play in the SEC championship? Alabama or LSU if you beat Florida?
I would rather play Alabama.
Me too.
You know, LSU is like an unknown commodity.
Absolutely.
And they're
Same thing.
crazy, and they fly around the field. They have, really gone back to their Chinese bandits roots.
But I will say this. Traditionally, LSU chokes at some point. That's been their thing.
Yeah, and you know what? With Ed Orgeron, that's not going to take that away.
I think they lose a game along the way to somebody they're not supposed to. Kind of like Georgia did.
That's kind of like Ed Orgeron. And that's not to take anything away from him because, the man's brilliant in his own right.
Could he fit through that door?
Well, his body could. His head would have to remain outside. It'd be a good Halloween.
He looks like he's missing a couple chromosomes.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
But God bless him.
God bless him. But you got an extra week to get ready for this game, so that's nice.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
And then you got Georgia Tech with the week off. How about Coach Collins beating Miami?
You know what?
That was it. They needed that so bad.
Everybody was talking about Wisconsin getting upset.
Right.
There was nothing in the history of the world like Georgia Tech beating Miami. Seriously.
No hyperbole here.
Seriously.
None.
I mean, Tech can't match up with anybody.
They got to stop.
Personnel-wise, player-wise. They cannot match up. It's like that was like the greatest coaching job that we've seen at Tech.
From a recruiting standpoint, right? You need a little something. You need a little spark, a little moment. They needed that, man.
Of course.
And I'm not saying, but the one thing that they have done is they've gotten better every single week. They've gotten better. And so if they can continue this, they're going to sneak up on a couple people before the end of the year. And that's all you want to see if you're a Tech fan.
You know what we got? For the first time, we've got two great coaches in town. First time they've ever matched up together.
Yeah, and who would they be?
It would be a guy by the name of Kirby Smart.
Okay, he's in town.
Athens.
I thought he was in Athens.
No, he's in Athens.
Right.
That is town.
Oh!
You see what?
Did you know that?
You know what?
If somebody, you should be in real estate.
Yeah,
if somebody
you know
comes
what?
to you and says, hey, look, I work at the new State Farm in Dunwoody, you say, I got a great house for you in Athens.
Yeah.
Same thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Let me tell you something, okay? In terms of football, Athens is indigenous to Atlanta. It's town. When we say town, we're talking about Georgia Tech. We're talking about
I got four neighbors. I got an
Braves,
Alabama fan,
and-
a Clemson fan, and Ole Miss.
Well, then tell
Okay,
them, well, then,
boom,
you know
boom,
what,
boom.
move.
Move to Athens.
Move to Athens. Get away from those people.
Hey, Atlanta's got people that went to school all over the Southeast. It's not Georgia.
That's why
Sure,
my
Georgia's
rugby-
a portion of it, but
That's-
you've got Tennessee, you got Florida State, you got Florida, you got everything.
How do you know all this? You're amazing.
Because I see the flags down my street.
you do?
I see that there, and no Atlanta United flags on my street.
Oh, thank God.
Actually, there's a lesbian couple on the end. They're big fans.
They may have. Yeah. They may have.
Big fans.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I'm not just saying they're
No,
big fans.
I know.
I know. By the way, they got a game coming up. They got a playoff game. In the semifinals, they're playing pick your team. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's at home. Arthur's got to be disappointed in that.
Oh, yeah.
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 So they're probably shutting down the soccer for the season down there.
You know what? When you talk about putting teams together, and Arthur didn't know it. He hired Rich McKay for the Falcons, but that Ailes guy with Lenny United must know what he's doing.
Oh, for sure.
Because he put that team together, and then as much as I kid about soccer, you're still putting a team together. You're still marrying attributes and weaknesses, and he did a hell of a job.
Right. Well, if you've
And
got
that's the difference.
well, you've got two hot items, right? You put them at the front door, like you say. You got hammers are flying off the shelf, and maybe coolers, right? Or something that's comparable in price.
but
You can't buy them both,
But we're trying to move the grills.
right?
See, that's the thing. And
Propane.
That's where Arthur would come in and say, and they would move the
See,
propane.
Dan Vasquenza, our good buddy. Dan, by the way, thank you for setting me up with Daniel with the Hawks. Got my tickets
Thank
ready
you,
to
Dan.
go.
Thank you, Dan. You haven't done anything for me lately, but thank you. In case you ever do.
By the way, he says, "Wake up, Beau. The NBA has changed. Trey is a part of the future. Wake up, Beau."
See, that's a typical response. We don't do that type of show. We're not here talking about the Hawks. We were discussing it as adults and guys who know a little bit something about
We're
the
all
sport.
adults here.
We talk about Trey, and I say he might not be able to go the distance and lead us the distance. That's not a knock on Trey. That's not me living in the past. What are you?
I'm producing. You just keep going on in your rant. You hate Trey Young. Look, this is what we needed. Thank you, graphics department. Now continue. This is what I was looking for.
Let's say goodbye.
No,
I want to say
no. You've never
no.
done this. This is
No,
not fair.
no,
There's so many things to talk about.
you
You got the
bothered me.
World Series starting tonight. For God's sakes, you got Garrett Cole against Max Scherzer. I mean, can you get a better pitcher, Max? Two best pitchers in baseball going against each other tonight.
You know what? I think down the stretch, I've seen Scherzer get hit a little bit.
Little bit.
And so I think I would have to go with Cole tonight. And in fact, I like them to win the series.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you get Verlander, Strasburg tomorrow, and Houston again. Houston's got home field. They had the second best home record in baseball. But I mean, who knows? Washington, they've ever since that game, ever since May, I think it is, they're the best record in baseball. So they've been playing out of their minds. So we'll see. I'm ready. My question is for you, though. You've got those top of the guy rotation, and I'll count all four of those: Verlander, Strasburg, Scherzer, and Cole. Can Soroka be one of those guys? Can he? Because he's so young. He's 22 years old.
Yeah, I think so. Because you know what he has? I can't say command. Because if I say command, I feel like Glavine or something, or Joe Simpson, control. He has control. And he can, no, you got your hands inside the ball? Get your hands in, there you go. It's tough to swing,
Right.
but you got to get him inside, otherwise it's going to break your wrist.
Right.
And that's a Joe Simpson.
Well, he's
batting.
on the radio now, so now when he does it, it takes twice as long because
Well-
you can't see it. So he's got to explain to you what you're.
But it's
normally
the
be
fantasy of the mind. It's wonderful what they do with their on-air people.
So World Series start. What else did I have? I got all kinds of stuff. Oh, by the way, outside of the Hawks, the NBA starts tonight. Pelicans and Raptors, which of course the defending NBA champions, they're always going to open, but they don't have Kawhi anymore. Completely different. But the Pascal guy, I freaking love that guy.
I do
Yeah,
too.
they just maxed him out too. So he's going to be the guy there now in Toronto. That'll be fun to watch. They're playing the Pelicans, up and coming team. Alvin Gentry is the coach. Remember last week we
Yeah.
talked about who the coach
Yeah.
is?
But you
but no
told-
Zion. Zion's out for 2 months.
I know, that's
Meniscus,
terrible. Terrible. So did they perform arthroscopic surgery on him?
They
or
they
they're
they
going
call
to?
it a meniscus repair. So it's
Well,
not
they
a
go
tear.
in.
Yeah.
No, but they clip it. They have to clip the little frayed pieces of.
There's two different procedures. I heard the explanation yesterday. You've got a repair, and then you've got something which
replacement.
is like, no. There's it's a 2 month or a 4 month injury,
Well,
depending on what degree it is.
Yeah, well, that depends on the arthroscopic surgery. When I had my meniscus injuries, it was major surgery.
Big time. Yeah, there were guys whose careers ended because of meniscus. And think about it now. I mean, I remember Chris Paul did it a couple years ago. He was back in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. But yeah, and then the second game tonight, Clippers-Lakers. And as badly as I want the Lakers to suck, I watched them play the other night against the Warriors.
They're dangerous.
I mean, you got Anthony Davis bringing the ball down the floor.
Yeah, they're going to be really dangerous.
And, people forget they've got Avery Bradley. They've got JaVale McGee. They've still got Dwight Howard, which could go either way. But these are all defenders. I mean, they've got...
These guys, this is street basketball.
Yeah. It's an interesting group of players.
That's very unusual. That's not LA's culture. But, it can be. And obviously, the ability to change and go in a different direction is great. That's what you've got to do as a general manager.
Right.
I mean, they're going to manipulate people.
Yeah, and you still got those. I mentioned Jamal Crawford, Joe Johnson, and then also Carmelo Anthony. Nobody's picked him up yet.
Well, do you want Melo on your team?
No. But I will say this. By the way, Klay Thompson, they announced today he's going to probably sit out the year. He's not going to play.
Bad.
It sucks,
That's
but
too bad.
I bet Steph Curry averages 40 points a game if they let him.
Well, I hope they don't, quite frankly.
Of course you don't.
Because I want to see him at the end. I don't want to wear him out. I don't want, I mean, that's an easy way to...
They're going to be on TV a lot, and that's not going to be much fun. Why not take that back? They got the kid from Ohio State, the point guard, that went to played for the Nets last year. He's a good player. Who originally was with the Lakers. I can't believe I can't remember his name. But what was I going to say? We were talking about Klay Thompson. Oh, last thing. So Michael Jordan said that Steph Curry is not a Hall of Famer. How is that? That's ignorant. That's not an accurate statement.
Michael might have had a couple of glasses of red.
I heard about that. They said he was probably drunk during that interview.
Well, I don't know if he's drunk, but I know Michael likes to, have a cigar and a glass of red. He's a red-blooded American guy. I don't mind doing that myself.
You and Mike got a lot in common. Oh, my legs asleep.
We're going.
The whole thing.
We're going. We'll see everybody.
The whole